the Nile River, a lifeline in the heart of the desert, a source of sustenance and inspiration for millennia, a ribbon of life snaking through the desert, its waters nurturing the land, creating a stark contrast between the barren sands and the lush greenery along its banks. On its banks a civilization blossomed, monuments rose, pyramids pierced the sky. The ancient Egyptians harnessed the river's power, building an empire that would stand the test of time. Pharaohs ruled, their word law, power was absolute, life was fleeting, yet their legacies were etched in stone, their stories told through hieroglyphs. The ancient Egyptians believed in eternity, they built for it, they worshipped it. Temples and tombs were constructed to honor their gods and ensure their place in the afterlife. But time, like the shifting sands, buries even the greatest empires. The once mighty structures now lie in ruins, slowly being reclaimed by the desert. This is the story of one pharaoh, a tale preserved in the carvings and artifacts that have survived the ravages of time, a woman who dared to seize power in a man's world. Her name was Hatshepsut. She defied tradition and ruled as pharaoh, leaving an indelible mark on history, her story nearly lost to time. Yet, through the remnants of her temple and the faded hieroglyphs, we can still glimpse the legacy of a remarkable ruler. Hatshepsut, born a princess, destined for greatness. From a young age she exhibited qualities of leadership and intelligence that set her apart from her peers. Her lineage was noble, her spirit indomitable. Her father, Thutmose I, saw her potential. He named her heir, recognizing her exceptional abilities. He believed she could lead Egypt to new heights, but fate had other plans. Thutmose I died unexpectedly, leaving a power vacuum in the kingdom. The stability of Egypt was at stake. His son, Thutmose II, ascended the throne. Though he was the rightful heir, his reign was short-lived and fraught with challenges. Hatshepsut was relegated to the role of great royal wife. Tradition and duty dictated her position. She supported her husband, but her ambitions were far greater. But ambition burned within her. She was not content to remain in the shadows. Her vision for Egypt was grander than mere ceremonial duties. When Thutmose II died, his heir was an infant. Hatshepsut saw her opportunity. The kingdom needed a strong leader, and she was ready to step into that role. She would become regent, ruling in the young pharaoh's stead. But regency wasn't enough. Hatshepsut craved true power. She declared herself pharaoh, donning the traditional male regalia, and ruled with wisdom and strength, leaving an indelible mark on history. Ancient Egypt, a patriarchal society where men dominated the political and social spheres. Women held power, but rarely absolute rule. Hatshepsut knew this. She was aware of the limitations placed upon her gender. She needed to play the game, to navigate the intricate web of politics and tradition. She needed to convince her people, to see her not just as a queen but as a pharaoh, to accept a woman as their pharaoh. She devised a plan, a daring, audacious plan, one that would challenge the very fabric of their beliefs. She would become pharaoh in her own right, not as a regent but as the ruler of Egypt. The young pharaoh, Thutmose III, became a pawn in her game. She positioned herself as his co-regent, but in reality, she held the reins of power. She would rule, for now. Her reign was marked by prosperity and monumental achievements, but the seeds of discontent were sown. Her unprecedented rise to power would not go unchallenged. The struggle for legitimacy and acceptance was far from over. Section 4. The Mask of Power. Hatshepsut understood the power of image. She began to appear in male attire, the ceremonial beard, the kilt, the crown of the pharaoh. She embraced the symbols of male authority. In the eyes of her people, she was transforming. Her statues depicted her as a male king, strong, powerful. Her voice in official pronouncements was deep and commanding. Hatshepsut was rewriting the rules of the game. Section 5. Daughter of Ra, Divine Legitimacy, essential for any pharaoh. Hatshepsut claimed it boldly. She propagated the story of her divine birth, the daughter of Amun-Ra, the sun god, conceived not by man but by God. Her claim was legitimized by the priests, inscribed on temple walls, proclaimed throughout the land. Hatshepsut, the female pharaoh, was no anomaly. She was the chosen one, anointed by the gods, destined to rule. Section 6. Legacy in Stone. With her power secure, Hatshepsut embarked on an ambitious building program. Temples, monuments, obelisks that scraped the sky. Her reign was a time of peace and prosperity. She reopened trade routes, filled the royal coffers. Her monuments were inscribed with tales of her accomplishments, her story etched in stone for eternity, or so she thought.